Well, hello everyone. Welcome to week 3. I hope you are all doing well and having a good start of the work week. Just a quick note before I get started. On May 28th, 29th, and 30th, they're going to be doing a Blackboard upgrade. They're actually using this huge international Blackboard Tech committee to do it. But they're doing a Blackboard upgrade, and so submissions and those types of things, you won't be able to access Blackboard. Now, we don't really have to worry about that because that's at the beginning of our week. But if there are things that you want to look at or start working on prior to the due date, you're probably not going to be able to access on the 28th, 29th, and 30th. You're definitely not going to be able to submit. So you might want to look at things beforehand, and then if there's anything that you want to copy and paste onto a Word document, and then do your work, and then copy and paste it back into Blackboard. Later, that's something that you can do. This affects everybody, all the online classes, not just ours. And I don't want you to sweat it or stress. Everybody knows this is coming. You've probably already received something from the university, but I did just want to remind you that you're not going to have access during the 28th, 29th, and the 30th. Okay, so this week you're looking at the ISTE standards. And for those of you that may not know what ISTE stands for, it's the International Society for Technology and Education. And those are the standards that we're looking for and related to our students and what we want them to do. And the student standards for ISTE is for students to become an empowered learner, a digital citizen, knowledge constructor, innovative designer, computational thinker, creative communicator, and a global collaborator. So a lot of these things are very easy for you to start integrating into any curriculum in your classroom to help students start meeting these standards. It can be as simple as an empowered learner using students in your class to help you with tech. One of the things that I like to do with the high school students, but you can do this with any age student, is find out who in class knows how to do specific things. And students will raise their hands, and then you can make those students, you can say, okay, if anybody needs help, then those are the people that are going to help you. And in that way, you're building up this environment of empowered learners, of students who are teaching other students how to do something that they, especially if they're not so tech savvy, teaching them to become tech savvy. And then those students can go on and teach other students. So, very easy way to start empowering your learner by giving them this experience. A digital citizen, students recognize the rights, responsibilities, and opportunities of living, learning, and working in an interconnected digital world, and they act and model in ways that are safe, legal, and ethical. Meaning no bullying online, very easy to tie in lessons to, what kind of digital citizen you are. Are you taking information from other people's websites or sources and not citing them? Are you being legal when you are creating things online, and adding them into projects? Are you giving acknowledgement to the artist for the music? Or are you citing sources when you're putting things on Google Slides? So things like that to think about. Knowledge constructor, students critically curate a variety of resources using digital tools to construct knowledge, productive creative artifacts, and making meaningful learning experience for themselves and others. Digital tools, these things, now when you have the younger grades, you might have to help them start navigating this. And then by the time they're in the higher grades, we're hoping that they're constructing knowledge, producing creative artifacts like sharing Google Slides, working together in Google Slides, being able to do things like embed a video in, or embed a sound bite in, or use animation within. And out of this, not only being able to have this, technology technology knowledge, but also technological knowledge, but also have knowledge of whatever the assignment is, whatever your design plan is, the outcome goal that you want from them, the curriculum that you want them to learn outside of tech. Computational thinker students develop and employ strategies for understanding and solving problems in ways that leverage the power of technology methods to develop and test solutions. Um, what's interesting about this is that we've been talking about AR a lot lately, which, if you haven't heard about that before, is augmented reality in education. And I think computational thinker is going to be very interesting when you connect it with augmented reality. So if you get a moment this week to just Google augmented reality in math education or science education or just education, I think you'll find that interesting. Creative communicators, students communicate clearly and express themselves creatively for a variety of purposes using the platforms, tools, style, formats, and digital media appropriate to their goals. So once again, this might be them doing a collaborative video together, or something like this, where like I'm speaking to you through my YouTube link. Maybe the students could do something like this. You can have a private YouTube link for the classroom so that people outside of the classroom, can't be part of your educational community if you want to make sure your students are safe. Global collaborators. Students use digital tools to broaden their perspectives and enrich their learning by collaborating with others and working effectively in teams locally and globally. What's neat about this is that you can have not only students or other classrooms that you can connect with around the world, but you can also have mentors that may not be able to come into your classroom, but are able to work with your students, in the classroom with your supervision, by either creating an online video where they can be a guest speaker, or by Skyping with the whole class. And we're very fortunate right now. We have the voiceover actor who did the audio reading for Catcher in the Rye, and he lives in Chicago. So of course I wouldn't be able to have him come into the high school classroom, but we have approval to have him. The kids have video created, not a live stream video, but just a video of them asking questions about his job or the choices that he made related to Catcher in the Rye, those types of things, for our CTE, our career technical education. And he is now making a video link back that I'll be able to play in the classroom so that they can have this one-on-one with him that we can't have, because there's no way we could afford to fly him out from Chicago and put him out to have a meet and greet with the kids. But online we can do these things. So these are some of the things that we're looking for students to do, and that we want to be prepared for as teachers. And I've also put the ISTE standards for educators, and I'm not going to go through that now because I don't want to go too long in this video this week, but please be familiar with them and take that into consideration when you're designing your class lessons for your curriculum. You've got a DB1 and a DB2 discussion board for week 3. You have your design project, which of course you have all the details for. Make sure that you click on the rubric, the details, the instructions, everything are right there. But basically, I've said to you, it is always important to modify projects so that students are not just following a recipe, but rather they are applying what they learned to create something new. Our task this week is to take that one step further. Your assignment will be to design a project in which students must, and here's the key, demonstrate their ability to locate and evaluate information using online tools, and then apply that information to create something that answers a question or draws a conclusion. I've put for your review the ISTE standards for students, the ISTE standards for educators, and everything is, if you go to the rubric, you're going to see everything in it. I've got all the links to click on things to help you. And if you have any questions, of course, you can contact me. But I don't foresee you having any difficulties with the assignment in any way. I've also asked you to explore some resources, Rubric Maker, which some of you might be familiar with. There's also a reading on Fight Plagiarism with Creativity, Changing Educational Paradigms. And I love Sir Ken Robinson. I think if you haven't seen him speak, I think you will like him as well. So I want you to have a wonderful week. And if you have any questions for me, go ahead and, give me an email and let me know, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. I do have open house tomorrow night. So if you contact me tomorrow, it might be a little hectic and you probably won't hear back from me until Thursday. And just one more reminder, the 28th, 29th, the 30th, remember Blackboard's going to be while they work on it. So have a wonderful work week. Contact me if you need me, and I think you're going to enjoy this lesson. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.